Okay, guys, a lot of guitar players learn these three triad shapes without even knowing what they're playing, what they mean, how it's put together. So let's build a little bit of understanding. Let's go deeper. We're going to do 10 minutes or less. Let's see if I can pull this off for you. Okay, so we're going to go straight to the chart. And of course, I have all of the triads already on the chart. So what I'm going to do is this one I'm moving right here. This is the first position we're going to play. This is what's called a root position triad. A triad has the first, third, and fifth. And just so you know, so you have some awareness, I pulled it from the major scale. I took the 1, I skipped the next note, I took the 3, which is E, skipped the next note, and I took the 5, which is G. The 1, 3, 5. And look, it's in order like this. So how do we play that? Now, this is not an easy shape. 1, 3, 5. I want you to say the note names as we move through this. C, E, G, C, E, G, C, E, G. And I like to think of 3 levels of guitar: beginning, developing, and musical player. This is more of like developing, okay? But you can still hear and do this even if you're a beginner. It's good to know of this, okay? So 1, 3, 5, first position, C major triad. Now, I will point out on the far left, you see how I'm moving this red box on the chart? That is a string set, EAD string set. There's 4 string sets. There's 12 different major minor triad shapes. In fact, I have an amazing book launching in like 2 days. You got to pick it up. It'll be the best thing you've ever gotten for your guitar playing. Okay, now let's go over here, up here to the 12th fret. You see this shape. So now all that happens in inversion, people get so confused, just a big word, is the note order of the triad changes. You still see we have a C, E, and G, but instead of the C being on the low E in first inversion triad, it's on the D string. And then on the A string is the G, and then on the low E is the E. So this is first inversion. I call this a 351, and I'll tell you why. So E, G, C, say the name, E, G, C, E, G, C. Now, if you are going to be a developing player, you always have to keep rhythm at the forefront and muting. So play open, clamp down. Open, clamp down, okay? So again, if we go back to the first position, root triad C, E, G, now that's a crazy hard shape. I get it. If you look at my hands right here, look at this. I got my pinky on the root, C. I got my third finger on the E. I got to stretch 2 frets down and put my G on the D string. So that is not easy. I get it. So let's go from the first root position triad here, and let's just move into a first inversion triad. Now, I told you why I'd call that a 351. The reason is it's the order from the lowest string to the highest that the triad is on. So 3, E is the 3, right? You see that? The 3rd scale degree. And then G is the 5. And then the 1 is C, so a 351. I only brought this up because you're going to hear some people speak a different language. That's what makes music so hard, but it makes you really smart. So first position, first inversion. First root position to first inversion triad. Now, people always ask me too, they're like, when they take lessons, like, why do I have to know all these different, some of people have even said flavors of chords. I'm like, well, you answered your own question, because different flavors have different sounds. It's different emotions. It's different colors of paint, right? Like there's not just one color of green or one color of yellow or red. There's multiple flavors or variations of that, okay? So let's go back. Let's go to what I call the second inversion triad. And this is G, C, E. So look, first root position, C, E, G. First inversion, 351, E, G, C. Second inversion, G, C, E. Now listen how beautiful the second inversion, or the 5-13 triad sounds. Remember 5, G, 5. C's the 1, C. E's the 3, 5-13. 1, 3, 5, 351, 5-13. This one has a beautiful mellow quality. Listen. Now, you should have a light bulb moment right now. I'm just going to point it out because we're here and I think it's important. You see that shape right there? That's the actually E major open chord shape. It's on a different string set. So instead of playing E major open chord here, and you're on the A, D, G string set, we're on the E, A, D string set. See how beautiful that sounds? So let's do this to wrap it up. And we're right around the 5-minute mark. Let's move through each position and say the note names. You should have your guitar in your hands. And then I'm going to go full screen and we're just going to see if we can like make some music, because that's what it's all about. So let's go ahead and now remember, focus on your muting technique. Let's control the noise. This is what great players do. So root position, C, E, G, right? First inversion, E, G, C. Second inversion, G, C, E, E. Okay, so I'm using muting, using that fleshy part. The more you put this together and put in the reps, the better and better you're gonna sound as a guitar player, the quicker you're gonna move to musical player level. Okay, so now let's arpeggiate it, C, E, G. Now I'm gonna go C, E, G, E, C, E, G, E, C, E, G, E, C, E, G, E. See that? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and so it's eighth notes. Then I'm gonna go E, G, C, G, E, excuse me, E, G, C, G, E, G, C, G. This is how you connect the fretboard. You're not memorizing it, you're connecting. And then G, C, E, C, G, C, E, C, okay? Now, I'm gonna show you one bonus thing. What I'm gonna do is I am going to pull off, this is just for funsies, okay? Because we're under our 10-minute mark here. Let's pull off the root position 1, 3, 5, and let's pull off the second inversion 5, 13 triad. Okay, now I don't have on the chart, but I want you to look at my hands right here. Here's this triad inversion right here. First inversion, E, G, C. If I play a C power chord here, when I actually play this, you're gonna instantly recognize this sound. So what I'm gonna do is, here's where I'm playing the notes. I'm actually playing the C right here. I'm moving the green circle, even though the note's not there. You know, let's just throw it there for funsies, okay? So here's the power chord. It's C, let me see if I can get this out of the way. C, G, C. And then right below the G, I'm gonna pivot off this note right here that's not on the string on the 10th fret. And I'm gonna slide into the inversion. You guys have all heard this, so it goes like this, watch. That could be a great exercise. Just do down to C to the triad inversion. Power chord. Okay, let's just go full screen and we'll wrap this up. So, saw what we did there. You guys have heard that. Now, you hear it a lot in like a 1, 4, 5 chord progression. So let's do this. Let's do a C bar chord. Now, this is where your musicality comes into play. I showed you those inversions. Go back, watch the charts. If you want me to make the charts for them, drop charts, I'll make them for you. I'll put them in my Dropbox. Played C. Let's do a C major bar chord. I'll do an A, and then I'm going to throw in these triad shapes, okay? First, second inversion, first inversion, root, and bar chord, and then an A minor, just to give it a little bit more flavor, okay? But mostly all C's, harmonic content of C major, okay? So what? Arpeggiate, A minor, inversion, G. Whoops, I cheated. Okay, back to the inversion. There we go. Okay, so you guys see that? All an inversion is it's just putting the triad in a different order. And there's only 2 inversions. A first inversion, like I called a 351, or a second inversion, a 513. If your head is still spinning 1,000,000 miles an hour, just realize this. This is tons and tons and tons and tons of repetitions. This isn't, you're not gonna get it once, but if every time we do a lesson on here, if we can just connect it and move a tiny bit further forward than you did before, like perhaps on the chart, and I've got a couple minutes here, perhaps you didn't know this shape and you didn't know this is a first inversion, okay? If we put all the triads back on, when I threw this up, okay, if I throw this onto the chart, perhaps now you understand, oh, okay, if I see somebody playing, and you're gonna see great musicians doing this, you're gonna see someone play that shape, you're gonna think they're playing like an E major open chord shape, but they're on a weird string set. And that's what that is, that's an inversion, it's a second inversion, okay? We'll go deeper later as to why I think these sound the way they do. It's the way the intervals are stacked. And you guys can see, this is what's exciting about music. This is why I'm gonna scream triads. This is why it's like my whole chord teaching philosophy. So the whole re-gearing of this channel is beginner level, developing level, musical player level, triads as our foundational spine, our life, our blood, our glue, okay? And you guys, let's just keep this thing rolling. All right. Hopefully you like that. Again, drop charts if you want me to make them. Any questions you have, if you don't ask a question, if you don't take the time to write it, I can't answer you, or somebody in here can't help you. I will answer pretty much every single question. I've answered thousands of them. That's my favorite thing. I don't care about anything else except helping you. So drop jellyfish. There's some jellyfish. There's a lamp somewhere back over there. There's some jellyfish over here. Or your favorite sea creature. Or you can drop Gavin, who's bombing my video in the comments. And we'll keep this thing rolling. Keep your eyes peeled on that Triad book. It's gonna be the cheesy word game changer, but it's appropriate in this case. Love you all. See you in the next video. Peace.